You can't talk about Budo without talking about samurai, right? Soldier. You don't get one without the other, okay? The Budo means the warrior way. Who was the warrior of the time? The samurai. So you have to understand what is the meaning of the samurai, what is the essence, and then how does that relate to Budo? We have to cover that really quick. A true samurai will find their way or their path through death. Samurai means one who serves. You're going to serve your Lord and you will die for your Lord with honor. Budo means the way of the warrior. That is the way of the samurai. So if you guys are going to study Japanese martial arts, you're going to study the way of war. You're going to study how to die. You're going to study how to pull your sword and kill another person. That's very aggressive. So the two things that we're going to talk about today is how do you approach Budo in the modern day, okay? And then how do you find balance in life? You guys know, if you've seen those little machines and they're like sound amplifiers, you know, and they're like this at 0, and then when the sound comes on, the needle goes like this, and like that, or sometimes you turn it on and it's like, nah. Okay. I want you to think of that, to think of this term of balance I'm talking about, okay? If you train in martial arts, or you're an aggressive, if you're an aggressive personality, okay, that means we're going to call that the negative side or the dark side, okay? So if you're going to be this aggressive, abusive, mean person, in times of your life, you're like a negative 10, okay? You have to figure out how in the hell to balance that out and make yourself be a positive 10 on the outside. You can't do one without the other. Now, a lot of times people they come in and do martial arts and are all competitive. They're on the negative side. Not that they're being negative. We're talking negative and positive. So being competitive and trying to outdo someone and beat someone up, and then they leave here and then they try to outdo everyone and beat them up and lie and try to make other better placement in life. And then they're, all these, it's negative. There's not the positive. Okay, well, they're not going to be a complete person. They're not going to be happy. Ultimately, in the day, what we want from everyone is to be happy and to be able to train in the martial arts and do the correct things that they need to do in life to be the person that they want to be. No one wants to be a mean-hearted bastard. I don't think that's true. At least I don't think so. I can't imagine someone waking up out of bed and think, well, I'm going to be a mean old bitch today. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine it. But on the other side, you don't want to be this way either, where you're a goddamn doormat, where you just let everyone walk all over you. You're so damn passive, like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, what do you want me to do? Oh, sure, yeah, I'll drop the soap. Look, I mean, we don't necessarily need it so far passive that you're not standing up for anything, because then you fall into that old saying that says if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything, right? One thing, and I'm going to look at the camera when I say this next statement, okay? One thing that you guys don't get from me online, all you students are going to see this in the online university and everything, you guys get the happy-go-lucky Christa, and I'm out and about and doing all this stuff. You don't see me in class a lot of the time, or at all really, except for the videos, which the videos are me teaching in specific. You don't get to see me ride their ass. I mean, I chew their ass, and I have no clue on how bad I put my foot in everyone's ass if they're doing something wrong. So you guys don't get that. You get the happy, oh look, I'm cute. I've got big boobs. Look at me smile. Ding. You get that, and then buy my book with a preview at the end. You don't get the other part where I'm busting everyone's ass, but they get that. They don't really get the other side either. So there's a little balance with that, I guess, at a certain point. You know what I mean? But in martial arts, when you guys approach training, now we're going to go back and forth here. Because like I said, I can't approach one without the other, okay? When you come to training, you're learning how to protect yourself and the ones that you love. That's what you're learning to do. I'm making it sound nice. But what I'm saying is, you're going to whoop someone's ass really hard with no rules. That is very mean. It sounds nice the way that they explain it on the billboards. Oh, self-defense, learn self-protection, defend yourself. What they're saying is, I'll teach you how to hurt someone very effectively and very efficiently. You know what I mean? So there's a balance with that. When you guys come into class, you should take your training extremely, extremely serious. Our bodies suck. Let's just be honest. I mean, I know it sounds funny coming from me, but it's just true. Everything we do in life, our bodies is telling us that we can't do it. You start doing squats, what happens? Your legs tell you to stop. You know? You start putting on makeup and you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, you know, it ain't gonna work. You know, no matter what we do in life, our body has a way of showing us and telling us that we can't do it. We're not going to make it to that next level. So you got one of two things. You can either listen to your heart or listen to your body. Your body is constantly holding you back. So my whole thing is, if you're going to get on the floor and you know it's going to suck, and you're going to do the push-ups, and you're going to do the sit-ups, and you know you're already going to feel pain, why stop yourself from just having this much more pain when you're already having pain? Because if you just give yourself this much more pain, then you at least get a benefit from it. I mean, seriously, on a pain meter, if you just half-ass it in here, you're going to feel a 6 or 7 out of 10. But if you give it all you got, you go to 9 or 10 out of 10, just give yourself a little bit more, then you actually see the benefit of what the hell you're doing. What's the point of coming in here half-assing it and not getting a goal, but still feel pain the whole damn time? See, that doesn't make sense to me. If I'm going to feel pain, I want to get the damn benefit from it. You know what I mean by that? And I see that a lot. It's people quitting. It's like, okay, do 20 reps, do 50 reps, and you see them do 35, and like, oh, I can't do the next 15. Okay, your body just said quit, and then you listen to it, and then you quit, and then you just started breathing. Your muscles got a break, and now you just do 15 more. You didn't do 50. You did 35, and then you did 15. You didn't do 50. You listened to your arms. And what does your arms have to do with your heart? The things that you guys want in life. What does the bicep muscle or your leg muscles or any of that kind of crap, what does that have to do with your heart? The drive. What makes you as a spiritual person? Absolutely nothing. So to sit there and listen to your legs bitch and complain about why they're burning makes no sense to me. And when you falter at that point, you will not ever get the goal that you're looking for. You know, we all have different physical skills, and we all have different physical abilities, and all of us are going to attain something different physically, because we all have different genetics. You know, we can't fight that. You have to go with what you got, you know. But no matter what you have, you can always make it better. When you guys come in to train, there are times where it's laughable and we're having a good time and we're talking. There are lighthearted classes. But that's when we're doing the mind, when we're dissecting technique, when we're doing Ninjutsu, when we're looking at kata, when we're looking at hinka. I'm constantly throwing jokes and happy moments in there. And the reason I do that is because I want you guys to think about the technique and then think about something not part of the technique, and then think about the technique. Because every time you shut your mind off and think about something else and then you go back to it, it makes your mind have to boot that same information up more times, which then that makes you retain it. If I show you guys a technique, and then we talk about my dog, we go right back to that technique, and I talk about my car, we go right back to that technique, that's 3 times your mind has had to shut that technique off, think about something else, and then turn it back on. You will retain that information a lot more than if we just do the same damn technique for an hour. Which is why I do that. So when we're doing that, yes, I'm going to throw the jokes. Yes, I'm going to be happy about it. We're going to have a good time. But when we're doing the physical stuff, I don't even want to talk. I want you guys to think in your head, what do I got to do to get better? What do I have to do to make myself succeed against someone that's going to be kicking my ass? Because ultimately, that is what it's about. So with that in mind, you guys know that you guys get tested 2 different ways in the Budo. When you look at a kata, you know you're going to have to show me the classical kata. You're also going to have to show me the modern hinka to that kata, because I teach you the old classical kata of all the 7 traditions. I also teach you a modern application to each kata. You got to show me both, the old way and the new way. You have to show me that you can apply all the techniques with a person. You also have to show me that you can do it perfectly in the air. That way I can see that you can apply it on a person, but I also see that with no resistance, you can do the kamae and the flow. You can show me how you express this art form through your body motion. So you see this balance that we have in training. Application, do it in the air, very artistic. Show me the classical kata, show me the modern variation. Weight training, sparring, grappling, right? Kata, hinka, thinking, historical lessons. You've got this big divide, you got this big balance, okay? You guys have to do the same thing with the training in your own life. This is where I can't help you. That's why I always say good luck in your journey, because I can't help you with that part. Confucius said, if you mimic the master, you die. If you inspired by the master, you live. He didn't mean live or die like life or death, Budo. He meant like live, like your spirit lives or your spirit dies, not your physical form. That, I haven't had a boss since I'm 21. I haven't got a paycheck since 21. I've seriously worked for myself for the last 15, 16 years. You know what I mean? That's pretty damn good. Age 21, I owned a health club. I had 15, 16 trainers underneath me, plus I had my own massage therapist, plus I had a whole nutritional center, plus, I owned a school. Now we've got 22 schools and this, and this. So from a business perspective, I've done very well. And health club and personal training through martial arts, as well as the, to make it sound professional, although this word gets taken way out of context, but the professional word would be adult entertainment, because that's where my entertainment business is as well. Even in that, I'm very successful. But if you look at the divide of it, one is very war, very aggressive, and one's very passive. If you guys want to find that same balance, you need to figure out in your life, how does that work for you? How do you take the lesson and how do you apply the same lesson to your life? How can you guys get the same success? That's what you guys got to figure out. But when you come into class, you don't take class serious. You can't take everything else serious. From me, I'm going to use me as an example, okay? Professionally, not personally, professionally. Professional life, I've got the negative meter, -10. I teach people how to pick locks, break into cars, firearms, explosives, stealth walking, espionage, assassination, ninjutsu, samurai bujutsu, cutting heads off with a sword, -10, very aggressive, okay? Other job, we're just going to go +10 because it's about as passive as you can get. I mean, if they follow me on the internet, then they know damn good and well, nude modeling, erotic dancer, yada, yada, yada. That's way on this side, fantasy world. So professional life, you see this big swing. Yeah? Personal life is always in that middle. When you have a job that you go to every day, that job is a piece of you. It is part of your life. It's something you chose to do. Whether you like that job or not is irrelevant. You chose to do it. Therefore, it is part of your life. If your job or what you do as a person, as a personality, as a character, if the meanest you can get is a 1, you're never going to be mean. But then again, you don't ever really roll over for anyone either. You just kind of do your own thing, so we'll go like a -1. Your bubble is here. You see, so you're not giving yourself any room to fail. And if you don't give yourself any room to fail, you can't succeed. One thing I know for a fact, okay? I got 22 schools, I got almost 10,000 students, I got all this stuff. And I have got my ass whooped more than every one of you guys. That is a fact. I know you guys see, oh, look at her do these throws, and look at the way I do the sword, and you guys see all this fancy shit. But you didn't see the 15 years I was getting my ass whooped. You didn't see how many times I stayed at the end of class crying at the end of a fucking dojo because I wasn't as good as everybody else. You guys didn't see that. You didn't see me staying up all night long trying to get one damn move correct because I knew if I could get it, then I could at least compete with the person I had to train with the next day. You have to fail to be better. And if you don't look at failure as a good thing, and it's in the sense that I mean it, in the context I mean it, then you can't succeed. You've got to look at that like, okay, I made this mistake, now why did I make it, and how can I never do it again? But if you've got no fire in your ass, and you're like, yeah, I just got tapped out. Now let's go again. Yeah, I just got tapped out. Yeah, let's go again. Yeah, I just got thrown to the ground. Nah, fuck it. Let's go again. Well, then you're never going to get better because it doesn't mean anything to you. You know what I mean? It should mean something that you walk on the floor and you just get your ass kicked every time you walk on the floor. That should mean something. It should mean something that you're constantly only beating the same 2 people all of the time. And you're getting your ass whooped by the rest. That should mean something. You should think to yourself, God, why am I not better? You know what I mean? And that's how you get better. That's how you get it. You have to find that balance. You have to approach it with that balance. You have to have the days where you come in extremely aggressive, and you have to have the days where you don't. That way you can retain it. The way of the samurai is found in death. Budo is teaching you how to die. In learning the arts of Budo, and learning the art of war, and learning how to die, you truly learn how to live. That's the benefit. Because if you already know how to die correctly, then you know how to live correctly. So even though you're training in the art of killing, the benefit to that is learning the art of living. When you're doing something physical and you know that it's the physical part of training, train hard. Push your body. When it's burning, that means it's working. That's your body telling you, stop. Stop. If you just stop, it'll be so much easier. If you just stop, it'll be so much easier. That's when you don't stop. That's when you push that next rep. You push that next rep. And every time you push that one more rep, you get one step better. That's how you get it done. I promise, if you guys push past that point, you'll get better. You have to approach it with a mentality of, I am going to make myself better. You have to. Because if you're not going to make yourself better, Chief and I can't do it for you. I mean, I've wrung myself out of a gutter to be where I am. You guys, I mean, I was homeless. I was living out of my damn car. You guys know the story. I had nothing. You know, we all have a sad, sob story, but the fact is, I mean, do you fall to it? Or do you rise up and get past it? And if you're not making yourself better, then you're falling towards it. I approach martial arts very rigid. And I'll say this to you guys, because again, you guys see one side more than they do, but then they see one side more than you do. In here, I look at it because I was raised a certain way, and the martial art teachers I have, they're all from the military, and they all were these fighting champions and all this kind of stuff, you know. If you didn't do it the correct way, it was wrong. And if it was wrong, that means you were going to be defeated, you were going to die. So, you know, my dad being from the military was very specific. So I teach that way. If they're not doing it the way, if they're not doing it the way I ask, then it's wrong. There are a million ways to skin a cat. Sure, why not? But there's only one correct way to skin the damn cat. And I want them to do the one correct way when they do the art. Flip side of that, when I'm not doing the martial arts, so I'm not in this profession, everything outside of this room, I'm like probably the most liberal person in the world, to be quite honest with you. You know, I'm very, very open-minded, very liberal, like a hippie ninja, I guess, you know, I don't know. But there's a time when it needs to be specific, and then there's a time where it doesn't need to be specific. But if I approach that way to everything I do outside of here, I wouldn't even have a job in that kind of industry. I wouldn't even have a friend. You know what I mean? Everyone would hate me. Jesus. It's true. Look at you laughing. That's not correct. Do it again. You know? Shit. So you have to find balance, okay? So the lesson today is very simple. Budo is the art of killing. The way of the samurai is found in death. But in learning how to die, learning how to fight, learning the art of war, you should learn how to live. When you're not in the dojo, when you're not doing something serious, don't just stay alive. Okay? Don't just survive, live. And there's a difference between just surviving and breathing and living. So go live your life. Be happy. You only get this life once, you know? So live your life. And when it's time to be serious on the mat, be serious on the mat.